Now that this horrendous WWE draft has come and gone, and what we seen on Smackdown Live on Tuesday was nothing but a complete fucking joke, obviously, the original plans by Vince McMahon were leaked days after the WWE draft. What was supposed to happen, who was supposed to be drafted first, and we're going to take a look at these fucking pathetic rosters and how WWE does not have a clue as to what to do with their championships concerning both Raw and SmackDown. Yes, I feel a little bit better. That's why we got a video. Let's talk about it. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here, and I sound not like myself, man. I'm very hoarse. I don't know what's going on with my throat, my voice. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Today, I woke up feeling a little bit better. That's why you guys are getting a video. I'm not going to let another day go by without giving you guys a fucking video. There's so much to go over. There's so much I want to say about the WWE draft, and I was not going to let another video go by. I wanted to do a Cruiserweight Classic review as well as an NXT review last night, being that I have more free time now than I ever had with my work schedule, being that I went to part-time. But now, another fucking roadblock is thrown in my way, and I'm sick. I haven't been this sick in God knows how fucking long. And it sucks, because if I don't have my fucking voice, I don't have fucking content to make. I don't have a voice in this community at all. I can't get you guys the fucking news, and I can't get you guys my opinion at all, and it sucks. So I woke up today feeling a little bit better. Last night was the first nice turn in me getting better. I had a fucking bad fever last night. I fell asleep as soon as the Cruiserweight Classic ended. I started watching Swerve on the WWE Network. I fell asleep and I just had big chills, massive chills, and I knew I had a fever. I took some fucking aspirin, I took Tylenol, and I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was fucking literally in a pool of sweat. So I know my fever broke. So that was a good thing. Now it's just my fucking throat. My body feels okay. No headache, no fever. It's just my fucking throat that's bothering me. I got a very bad sore throat. And I don't know what caused all of this. I don't know why. It's the middle of the fucking summer and I'm sick like this. But hopefully we are on the road to recovery by the end of the week and I should be close to 100%. So thank you guys for slipping into my DMs and telling me get better. I wish you well. You know, take it easy. Take a rest. You got enough content out there for us to enjoy. You know, worry about yourself for the, for the first time in a long time. I understand that. Thank you guys very much, but the more I lay on my couch, the more news kind of comes at me, filtering through my email and on the websites and on the internet. So I don't want to let too many days go by without getting back to work. Even if I'm feeling 50% of how I should feel, I got to get you guys the news. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to talk about the WWE draft. Apparently, news has leaked about what WWE had planned for the WWE draft. What their original plans were, how Daniel Bryan got involved in all of this, what Stephanie McMahon has said about the WWE draft, what Vince McMahon's mindset was going into the draft. All of this has been revealed via Brian Alvarez of the Wrestling Observer and several other websites. We're going to go over all that, including, I made a list of fucking both Raw and SmackDown. As you guys can see right there, if the camera focuses, I got highlighted divisions. We got the yellow, the pink, and I got shit circled. And then on the first page here, I got what WWE considers their main event scene for both Raw and SmackDown. We're going to go over both of these rosters, and we're going to rant and bring to everybody a logical way as to how WWE can handle their championship situation. Because everywhere you look, there are reports claiming that WWE does not have a clue as to what to do with their championship belts. And this fucking bothers me. And I don't want to jump the gun, so we'll save it towards the end of the video. But what I want to talk about first is how the WWE draft was originally planned and who was supposed to go in the first round. And what we got in the first round was completely fucking different. So let's go over everything right now in my notes. Now, we all know Shane McMahon returned to WWE after a 7-year absence to be fully accepted by the WWE Universe because he represented a change for the WWE. It didn't take long before the rumors of a brand split began to circle the product, even while Shane McMahon was feuding with The Undertaker en route to WrestleMania 32. It wasn't until May that WWE officially announced the brand extension for their programming that came to fruition this week on Tuesday with Smackdown Live. Now, something of a personal note here. There were a few bad seeds who watched my review of the WWE draft and they proclaimed, oh, you didn't say shit. Fuck you. Number one, fuck you. The people that have been watching me for as long as they have, well into 2016 and before that, you guys would have known and should know that I've been proclaiming that if there is a draft, this will probably kill the WWE product. More than likely, it will fail. And I've been proclaiming that for fucking weeks. I made videos on how to make their WWE pay-per-view calendar right. I made a video on how WWE's draft and brand extension would kill the fucking product. I've been making videos and I've been throwing fucking comments here and there ever since Shane McMahon was debuted on Monday Night Raw in Detroit and when that Undertaker match inside Hell in a Cell at WrestleMania 32 was announced on that Monday Night Raw. I've been proclaiming this for fucking months. So don't you dare tell me that I haven't been saying shit. You're the fucking people that don't watch my fucking content. So you can fuck the right off. Number one, okay? Number two, Shane McMahon did represent change for the WWE, but how much change can there be if WWE is going to give us the generic, typical scenario that everybody expected it to end up being? Shane versus Stephanie. How much change can there literally be on Shane McMahon's behalf if you're not going to utilize him correctly? So I don't get where Shane McMahon, now especially, represents change for the WWE. Recently, Stephanie McMahon appeared on the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast, whatever the fuck that is, to promote WWE Battleground this Sunday, as well as the WWE Draft. During this interview, Stephanie revealed just how long the brand split has been planned by the powers that be in the WWE. She said the following about how long they've been planning the brand split, and I quote, "It's something that Vince McMahon had planned on for quite some time." Okay. So Vince has been planning on the brand split and the draft for quite some time. So if it's quite some time, he should have had enough time to lay the groundwork and a blueprint for what he wanted to do. Superstars to go to whichever brand, championships that were going to be brand exclusives, the Cruiserweight Championship that was announced on Monday Night Raw that will be brand exclusive to Monday Night Raw, etc., right? Pay-per-views, main event, women's, tag team, how these championships are going to fluctuate and where they're going to be on either Raw or SmackDown. All of this should have been laid out if Vince McMahon had quite some time to develop a plan for the draft. But then she goes on to say, but we hadn't fully developed it until it got closer to SmackDown going live. Well, there's your fucking mistake, Stephanie. There's your fucking mistake. It has been in the works for a little while now, but the Shane McMahon storyline gives us a great storyline and a platform to promote it. So you waited and waited and waited for this conflict between the McMahon children to finally think, you know what, we got a fucking draft to worry about here. How are we going to lay this out? Vince McMahon had plans for quite some time. Meanwhile, they didn't develop until a few weeks before SmackDown went live. That's what Stephanie is saying, and that's why WWE will continue to fucking fail at everything that they present to their audience. This draft was nothing more than a reason to shake up Monday Night Raw and give Monday Night Raw a new look while keeping SmackDown the B show. But before all of this took place, there were reports saying that Raw and SmackDown were going to be considered equal. USA Network wanted SmackDown Live, which WWE gave us, and they wanted SmackDown to have, or SmackDown and Raw, I should say, to have unique rosters that benefit all brands going forward in the entirety of WWE. So Monday Night Raw made out like a fucking bandit. They made out like the fucking Sticky Bandits in Home Alone. They fucking took everything that WWE had to make that show better. Meanwhile, SmackDown was left with the fucking scraps. Yeah, they got a few notable names here and there, but there's no names on there that are going to make you fucking flock to that brand exclusively every fucking Tuesday. There's not a championship set in stone that is exclusively going to be on that brand that's going to make you watch that brand any more than you're doing now. So, why are we going to watch SmackDown on Tuesdays if you really haven't given us the fucking whole plan for this draft? How are we going to get invested in SmackDown and this draft if you had quite some time to develop it, but you only took a two or 3 week time frame to develop all your plans and ideas for this draft? It doesn't work that way. It does not work that way. So that's what she said on this podcast or Slamcast, whatever the fuck they're calling it. According to a report now from Pro Wrestling Sheet and Ryan Satin, the original plans for WWE's brand extension and the draft were going to be much different than what the WWE Universe saw on SmackDown on Tuesday. No shit. No shit, I'm pretty sure plans changed around the hour regarding this fucking draft. Originally, Vince McMahon was going to be more involved, but it will be interesting to know that Daniel Bryan was always a part of the plan for SmackDown. Vince McMahon was planning to make the announcement for the brand extension and the WWE draft the night after Money in the Bank last month. WWE ended up making the announcement in late May on WWE.com. So Vince McMahon wanted even less time for the WWE Universe to speculate and wonder about all the change the WWE product would be going through this week. Maybe he should have fucking announced it on Money in the Bank, because maybe he would have been listening to the vocal audience about how to fucking make sure your draft does not come off like the fucking previous drafts. Which it did. Which it did, if not worse. So Vince McMahon announcing this earlier probably should have happened, because maybe he would have had a better idea and some more ideas from the vocal audience of the WWE to take into consideration about how to run this draft. Vince McMahon and everybody in the WWE needs to fucking get out of their fucking bubble and realize there are other resources that which you can use to help you get along and better your fucking company. You know, the ideas of Vince McMahon and Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon solely are not going to be the only ideas that are going to work. You know, most of the time, their ideas are going to fail because, honestly, in my honest opinion, their ideas and their mentality really isn't in tune enough with the WWE product. Shane McMahon, maybe. Triple H, maybe. But Stephanie and Vince McMahon, absolutely fucking not. They're going to do what they think is best because they don't want anybody going over their heads, making them look wrong or making them look bad. That's the way those kind of people operate. So that's fucking retarded. That's a fucked up mentality. And to me, your interests are in yourself, not in the WWE. That's just the way I perceive it. Call me crazy. Let me know what you think down below. But that's the way I see things when I see Vince and Stephanie McMahon. But Daniel Bryan was always a part of the plan for SmackDown. Okay, so announcing this at Money in the Bank probably would have done Vince McMahon a little bit better and would have opened him up to some more ideas if people had more time to think about it instead of being rush. So I don't know why he didn't announce it at Money in the Bank. He waited until May to announce this. So I don't understand. I really don't understand what's going on with that. Moving on here, guys. Apparently, Daniel Bryan was not only part of the plan, but he agreed to become the general manager of SmackDown way back in May. However, SmackDown would essentially have been Bryan's show because the deal between Shane and Stephanie to run Raw together was meant originally to run through the brand extension, and Bryan was meant to oppose them. Now, Daniel Bryan's SmackDown versus Shane and Stephanie running Monday Night Raw would have been an interesting dynamic on WWE television. It could have worked. But the WWE Universe always assumed that the brand split was about Shane versus Stephanie, which is what ended up happening. Now, this goes to show you that WWE doesn't take risks. I mean, I am pretty sure everybody would have been on board with a Daniel Bryan underdog SmackDown versus Stephanie McMahon and Shane McMahon and the Juggernaut Monday Night Raw. It would have easily picked up where they left off when Bryan got hurt. There was no loose ends tied up with that storyline. They could have easily picked up from where they left off because he was stripped of the WWE Championship. He wasn't given a fair chance. He was out with injury, and he never recovered from that, and he was forced to retire. Now he's back, and now we have the fortunate opportunity to see this guy back on television. It would have been great to see Bryan lead the charge for everybody that hasn't been given a chance on Monday Night Raw to go against Monday Night Raw. That would have been great. I think people would have invested their time into SmackDown more if Bryan was running it and going head-to-head with Shane and Stephanie running Monday Night Raw. This is WWE, and this goes back to WWE not taking risks. They don't take risks. All because Shane and Stephanie was the assumed direction of this draft doesn't make it the right decision. I don't understand why people think, oh, well, you know, people expect it to be Shane and Stephanie running both Raw and SmackDown respectively. We're just going to go with that because that's what people expect. We're going to take the safe route instead of giving us something different. It's always got to be about the McMahons, right? It's always got to be about the McMahons. Everything that happens in the ring and that's portrayed as a storyline on television should be the most important aspect of your programming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. No question. There's no reason why Vince, Stephanie, and Shane have to be portrayed as the most important fucking thing on television each and every week. Their roles need to be scaled back, and they need to overlook the product in the fact that it's running logically, fucking things are making sense, things are running smoothly, titles are in place on certain shows, the draft should have been laid out completely, things like that. Their decision needs to come as far as aspects like that. Not as far as getting on television and having more television time than the fucking wrestlers. Doesn't work that way. That's why people are fucking pissed off about the WWE product and the current direction. This isn't a new era. It's not a new era if Stephanie McMahon and the McMahon family are still portrayed as the most important figures on television. Out of everybody that competes in that fucking ring. It doesn't work that way. That's why people get bored. That's why people claim that it's stale and boring and the same old shit. The draft was the same old shit. It really was and ended up being the same old shit. Bryan leading the charge on SmackDown versus the Raw Juggernaut would have been a dynamic that we haven't seen on WWE in years. And Daniel Bryan's still as popular as he is then as he is now. He is still as popular then. Now. So I don't understand why Daniel Bryan wouldn't be given the opportunity to run SmackDown and throw his ideas into the hat to make that show better and make the overall fucking product better when his stock in the company obviously hasn't even taken a hit since he retired. People miss him, people want to see him, people respect him. And SmackDown, with Daniel Bryan's mentality and his personality, it would have been great. The working man for the working man's fucking brand. That would have been great. But WWE, all because, people assume Shane and Stephanie going head-to-head with this split and Raw versus SmackDown, they assume that's the way it's going to go, and they think that's best. No. I'm sorry. That's not the way it should have been. And now that the original plans have been revealed, it makes you think what we've seen on Tuesday was nothing more than fucking WWE running around with their heads cut off. They didn't know a goddamn thing of what they wanted to do with this fucking draft. So it would have been Bryan SmackDown versus Stephanie and Shane's Monday Night Raw, okay? It's curious that WWE was preparing Daniel Bryan to steer SmackDown on his own. There's no word on when WWE made the decision to bring Mick Foley into the mix and make WWE about McMahon versus McMahon. The original plan wouldn't have left many opportunities for Triple H to return unless Shane and Stephanie were slowly tearing Raw apart from within. God forbid. How many times have we seen that? And a match of some kind to decide the one McMahon to be in charge of Monday Night Raw. The angle WWE was probably trying to go with was the Authority versus Daniel Bryan so that he can finally finish that storyline from when he pretty much overran the Authority at WrestleMania 30. So I would have been completely okay with that, but WWE obviously did not go with that, with what we were presented on Tuesday. Regardless of what the original plan was before the WWE draft this week, WWE was successful in splitting almost every member of the roster into either Raw or the SmackDown brand. There are still questions to answer about how WWE will be organizing some of their championships, and WWE apparently has no clue as to how to structure them. For better or worse, the WWE draft is over. Now it is time to let WWE figure it out and let their plans unfold. Figure what out? Everything should have been figured out months ago. Plans should have been unfolding months ago before you presented this to the fucking world. The powers that be got through the brand split, so there must be a long-term plan now to ensure the brand extension does not fail. Moving on, before I get into the fucking rosters. While it's certainly understandable how the WWE would slot the WWE Champion Dean Ambrose and one of the current top two contenders for the title, Seth Rollins, as their first two picks of the WWE Draft, that wasn't originally how it was supposed to play out. According to Wrestling Inc., the first overall pick in the WWE Draft was supposed to be Brock Lesnar. Things have been fluctuating for months backstage in regards to the draft and the subsequent brand split. Once the decision was set in motion, plans called for Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins to headline Raw, while John Cena and AJ Styles to top SmackDown. Interestingly enough, all four were drafted to those particular shows. However, Roman Reigns' wellness policy violation and John Cena's limited schedule forced WWE to call an audible at the top of each roster. Also, while it may not have always been the plan, Lesnar was slotted as the top pick for the WWE Draft as of last week. Things changed when things changed when UFC revealed that Brock Lesnar failed an out-of-competition sample collection as well as an in-ring competition drug sample, flagged both times for the estrogen blocker clomiphene. I don't know how to pronounce that, but he did get nailed for an estrogen blocker, which is not a fucking steroid, goons. Okay? It's not a steroid. What's odd about Lesnar, as far as the WWE and the draft is concerned, is that even though he fell to the 8th overall pick, it wasn't a significant enough slide to turn this into a major story. Perhaps they would have been better suited to make him the top pick or have him slide considerably to the point it was addressed on the broadcast, creating some extra buzz. In the mock-up that saw Brock drafted first, Dean Ambrose would have gone second, followed by Seth Rollins, and then John Cena. Things clearly shifted quite a bit with Rollins going first overall, despite not being the WWE Champion. Charlotte slid into the 3rd spot, with AJ Styles rounding out the top 4 and Cena dropping to 7th. But as noted, the shows they were drafted to remain the same as originally planned for. So that was the original plan for the first round, at least, before all this Lesnar shit happened. And then when Lesnar got nailed for the fucking estrogen blocker, things had to change. So Lesnar was supposed to be number 1, and they changed everything as soon as that news leaked from the UFC and the USADA. So that is the latest on the draft picks that should have been for Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Now, before we end the video, my main concern is how WWE is handling their fucking championships. Because right now you look at it, on Raw, they have the Women's Championship, they have the Tag Team Championship, they have the United States Championship, and they have, soon to be, the Cruiserweight Championship. That is 4 championships on Monday Night Raw. Compared to SmackDown, which has Dean Ambrose as the WWE Champion, and the Intercontinental Champion, The Miz. And that is about it. Okay, they have no other championships laid out for SmackDown. So I'm taking a look at these rosters, and I'm thinking, if WWE is really thinking of adding another championship, another world championship, if they do add another world championship, that probably means they're going to add another set of tag team championships and another set of women championships. So there's going to be 2 women championships, tag team championships, and a world championship. That's overdoing it. That's too many championships for one fucking roster. Now, the way I see it, if WWE really wants to add another fucking division to the women and tag team, look at what they have to work with right now as far as women. And I'm going to run through SmackDown first. Becky Lynch, Natalya, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, who doesn't even count as a fucking pick. So, that's 5, and then Carmella, 6. So you minus Eva Marie because she's fucking terrible. You got 5 women on SmackDown. 6 if you want to be nice and add Eva Marie. Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Nia Jax, Paige, Summer Rae, Alicia Fox, and Dana Brooke. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 women. 7 women drafted to Monday Night Raw. Again, not enough women to have another set of a women's championship. Not going to happen. So, you got 6 women on SmackDown. Exclusively. 6 women who cannot wrestle on Monday Night Raw. How many times are we going to see the same fucking matches over and over and over again? I don't get it. Same thing with Monday Night Raw. How many different combinations of matches can you make with 7 fucking women on Monday Night Raw? 6 on SmackDown. It doesn't make any sense. Now we're going to go over the tag teams. Look at the fucking tag teams that are on SmackDown and Monday Night Raw. Starting with SmackDown, American Alpha, the Usos, the Ascension, Breezango, and the Vaudevillains. Now, Zack Ryder and Mojo Rawley were also added to SmackDown. You could use them as singles, or you could use them in a tag team environment. So that would make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 legit tag teams, 6 if you want to add the Hype Bros. Not enough for another set of tag team titles, I'll tell you that. How many different matchups can we get with those teams who are exclusively on SmackDown? Not going to work if you ask me. Not going to work if you add another set of titles. And it's not going to work if those brands have those teams exclusively to that brand only. It's not going to work. Let's look at Monday Night Raw. The New Day. Enzo and Cass. Gallows and Anderson. That's 3. Golden Truth, 4. The Dudleys, 5. Shining Stars, 6. So if you want to add another set of tag team titles, right? Obviously not going to work. You got 6 teams on Raw. How many different combinations of teams, how many different combinations of matches can we get with 6 fucking teams for each fucking brand? It's not going to work. The brand split is going to be fucking stale before it even gets started. So I don't understand why they went about drafting teams to both fucking shows. I don't get why they drafted women to both fucking shows. It does not work. It does not work. Now, I have been an advocate for having championships float between both Raw and SmackDown. Yes. But now, since we've seen how WWE has handled the fucking draft, now the best thing to do is have the women exclusively on one brand and have the tag team championships exclusively on another brand. So, either Raw or SmackDown should have got all the women or all the tag teams, depending on which brand you want to put them on. As far as I'm concerned, and what I would have did, I would have put the women on Monday Night Raw, being that you're in the midst of this fucking revolution for the women. I would have put the women on Monday Night Raw. You get them on the A show, the spotlight, and you really fucking care for the division and treat it like it should be. So you got all these women. Instead of drafting them to SmackDown, you draft them to Monday Night Raw. Now, the tag team should have been on SmackDown because that's going to be the wrestling-heavy show. So I would have drafted all these fucking teams. Enzo, Cass, Gallows, Anderson, Golden Truth, Dudleys, Shining Stars. All of those guys that are on Raw should have went right over to SmackDown. And the tag team championships, New Day, should have been on SmackDown exclusively. That would have at least gave you a division. A division to play around with. A division to have fun with. Same thing with the women. Why are you going to split these fucking divisions and have 6 women on one show, 7 women on another, 6 teams on one, 7 teams on another? It's not the way it should be. That's not enough for a set of tag team titles, and that's not enough for a brand-exclusive fucking roster. So where do people come off telling me I'm being negative? It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. The WWE main event scene on SmackDown is fucking pathetic. Ambrose, Styles, Cena, Orton, Wyatt. Those are the 5 guys who automatically come to mind when you look at the rosters who could be or are main event. Then you look at the mid-card on SmackDown. Miz, Corbin, Ziggler, Alberto Del Rio, Kane, Kalisto, Zack Ryder, Apollo Crews, Eric Rowan, and Mojo Rawley. That's enough for a mid-card? That's enough for a mid-card? I understand the logic of getting an Apollo Crews or a Baron Corbin or a Dolph Ziggler into the main event scene. But who's the Miz going to defend the IC title against if that is going to be exclusively on SmackDown? Who's he going to defend the title against before that runs its course and that gets boring? And we see the same fucking matches over and over and over again. Same thing with the fucking main event scene on Raw. Rollins, Balor, Reigns, Lesnar. Those are your big guys right there. Balor's not going to the Cruiserweight division, goons. Because if you make Balor the Cruiserweight champion, that automatically puts in people's heads, okay, he's the Cruiserweight champion. He can't fight for a world champion because he's too small. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that at all. So, Rollins, Balor, Reigns, and Lesnar. Okay? Obviously, you got Sami Zayn, Jericho, Rusev, Owens, Neville, Cesaro, Sheamus, Titus O'Neil, Darren Young, Sin Cara, Jack Swagger, Bo Dallas, Curtis Axel. How many of those guys legit are going to be fighting for a mid-card title? Most of those guys, towards the end of that list, are going to be nothing but fucking space fillers and comedy on Monday Night Raw for a 3-hour show. Zayn can move up to the main event. Jericho can move up to the main event. Owens can move up to the main event. Neville could be a great upper mid-card guy. Cesaro, Sheamus could be great upper mid-card guys. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is illogical. The rosters are illogical. I don't believe what I'm seeing here. The Women's Championship should be exclusive on Monday Night Raw, giving them the fucking Women's Championship and the Cruiserweight Championship and the United States Championship. That's it. And the WWE Championship. That should be the 4 on Monday Night Raw. You want to add another set of fucking titles for the world title on SmackDown, the World Heavyweight Championship, the IC Championship, and SmackDown has the Tag Team Championship. That is it. No reason to add any other Women's Championships or Tag Team Championships to the fold. I don't get these rosters. Before all is said and done, we're going to be seeing the same matches over and over and over again. Things are going to get stale very quickly. And WWE, at this point in the game, has not even laid out how the championships are going to work. Are they going to be floating between both brands? Are they going to see Miz work both Raw and SmackDown? Are we going to see Rusev work both Raw and SmackDown? Are we going to see Dean Ambrose both work Raw and SmackDown? New Day work both Raw and SmackDown? Charlotte, same thing. Then what is the point of a brand split? What is the point of a brand split if these champions are going to float all over the place? I thought the reason for a brand split was to split the rosters and keep each individual on said roster. It makes no sense. It makes literally no sense. I don't know what I'm looking at here. I'm looking at WWE confused as fuck as what they did with their championships and their roster. I don't get it. I don't get it. But people tell me I'm fucking negative. When you gotta open your fucking eyes and see what's in front of you. I don't get it. As far as anything else that changed, the announcers have changed. Raw, Michael Cole, Byron Saxton, and now adds Corey Graves. Raw might be a little bit more listenable. Saxton is not that bad, but I don't think he should be in that role. Graves and Cole should be 1 and 2 on Raw if they did not want to get rid of Michael Cole. SmackDown should be Mauro Ranallo and David Otunga, respectively. JBL is fucking terrible. You don't know whether he's heel or face. You don't know whether he's siding with the good or bad guys. Some of the time, he doesn't even talk about what's happening in the fucking ring. He's piss poor at getting the product and the brand and the match over. But that's what Mauro Ranallo's for, so we got to see the dynamic about how they play off one another. Jerry the King Lawler is now going to be delegated to the pre-shows for each Raw and pay-per-view events. So that is that. I'm not talking out of my ass here, people. I'm not talking out of my ass here. Brand exclusive championships should have been. Especially the women and the tag team situation, which I am most concerned about. Okay? I don't mind a second world championship. I don't. because it's going to create new main event stars. I'm okay with that. The Corbins, the Ziglers, the Cruises, those guys can be catapulted into the main event before the end of 2016. That is not a problem. Bray Wyatt will get the opportunity, again, to fight for a world championship, you know? But as far as the women in tag team and the U.S. and the Intercontinental, we are literally walking in the dark as far as everything goes with these championship belts. WWE does not have a clue. They didn't send out any press releases. They had no plans prior to this draft as to what they wanted to do. Everything that has happened on Smackdown Live on Tuesdays reeks of fucking desperation. It reeks of rush, and it reeks of a company that went into this thinking it was cool and now suffering the ramifications of a huge fucking mistake. That's what I'm seeing with these two fucking rosters. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. If those women are going to be brand exclusive to SmackDown, Becky, Natalya, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Eva Marie, and Carmella, how many times are we going to see the same fucking matches over and over again? Same thing with Raw. Same thing with the tag teams on SmackDown. How many different fucking times are we going to see American Alpha, Usos, Ascension, Breezango, Vaudevillains? 5 teams! 5 legit teams on a brand exclusive show. You mean to tell me we're going to be refreshing? They're going to give us refreshing content? They're going to revitalize the fucking content that they give us? This is all a mistake. All a fucking mistake. Absolutely a fucking disgrace of a draft. They went into this not knowing what they did. And at this point, I hope they fucking fail. Because it goes to show you what ignorant fucking fools will do thinking that they are right. They did this with no plan in place. They did this because it sounded cool and they needed an excuse to fucking shake things up in the company. What they did was shake things up in the company and fucking potentially ruin their company for the rest of 2016. That's all I gotta say about that. If you don't like it, kiss my fucking ass. I know I'm right, and what I have in front of me right now makes little to no sense whatsoever. That's JD. I'm gonna fucking go lay down because my voice is fucking killing me. Hopefully I'll be alright for Out of Nowhere. Hopefully I'll be okay for Off the Script tomorrow. Until then, hit that thumbs up. Let me know what you guys are thinking down below of all this extra draft coverage and news. Let me know what you guys are thinking down below. I'm going to rest. Until then, I'm JD, and I'll talk to you guys later.